Hey everyone, welcome back. Now today we're going to be doing a bit of a comparison and just discussing the overall plans with these models. So the two models in question are pretty much this one here, the Ford Aeromax 106 by Italeri. Now don't quite have enough space, so can't exactly get the full box, but you get what it is. So it's a Ford Aeromax, which is essentially an LTL with the updated hood and sleeper cab. So is that, and then what I'm going to be actually comparing it to is one that's currently out, that's been around for a little while, which is the US record truck, which is the Ford LTL 9000 conventional cab truck with just your regular sleeper and your tow bed. And what I'm actually looking at doing is seeing how similar or different these two kits are, as I do eventually I want to be working on a special plan where taking the tow bed from the one truck, putting it onto here, but of course, with the aero cab, there's not exactly enough room to have the tow bar on top. So, pretty much going to be taking some of the parts from here and swapping them over to the other truck. So, if anything, see, haven't looked too deeply into these. So, gonna gonna go through them, see with the parts trees what they're like, and pretty much go from there. So now getting a couple things out of the box. Now, a couple things for as the obvious things like the tire trees. They're all the same. They got the pad printing and your basic tire tread. So those are all your standard parts. And then you also have the wheels and tire, or you have the wheels themselves, which are pretty much your standard Italeri truck tire set, which are pretty much the same. Oh, yeah, they're essentially just the same. Nothing really different. Have as you have you pretty much have your drive tires that are molded in gray, and then plus you always end up getting your spare tire, which for most trucks never gets used, from what I found at least. So we'll put those to the side there. Now, one of the parts that gets slightly interesting while you start looking at the parts is the one with the engine and drivetrain. How got got both of them here. Now they're all, of course, these here, by the looks of it, they all share the same engine. So, of course, you got your standard parts like your seat brackets, right? Coolant lines, steering wheel, fifth wheel plate, mud flaps, air tanks, all your stuff. But the only thing really on the tree that actually gets changed is for the Aeromax, it has a much smaller radiator, whereas on the LTL, it actually has the much larger industrial sized radiator, which is quite interesting, but odd and interesting. But what I'm guessing is that the hood on the Aeromax could be a bit narrower, so can't really have a much larger fan. So there's that, and plus there is the fan, and then the radiator itself, which is also smaller, along with with the plating and coolant line. And then at the moment, not entirely sure on what this piece is supposed to be, or these two plates right here. But when I get around to building, well, that's probably when I'm going to find out what those are for. But otherwise, besides those, the trees are both exactly the same. And then moving on, we got the interior, which out of the 9000, it's like this, how you have your floorboards, your seats, the bedding, dash, roof, or the roof liner, firewall, doors, or the door panels, and then hood intake, the hinges, and a couple other odds and ends. Then where you go on to the Aeromax, you pretty much have the same parts, like you got dash, roof liner, floor, seats, bedding, firewall, and then you got the door panels, but you end up having it where you end up having these special the interior panels, which are for, which go for the aero cab. So then with this, you do lose the intake, which is fair enough, as the hood's much different. Do have different, so I'm guessing there's going to be different hinges, and I'm thinking, by looking at it now, I think these are battery box trays. So you are missing those. So similar, but yet starting to get a bit different. Got the chrome trees here, which for the 9000 got the chromed wheels. Then you got the fuel tanks, mirror brackets, and grab handles and stuff. Got the exhaust here. Quite a few of your basic Ford truck parts. But then you go on to the Aeromax, and then you get about half the tree is the same until you realize the differences. So here you have the one side here. This is all your basic stuff that pretty much gets used for every truck. Then of course, then you have a more curvature bumper. And then you have your side stacks. Then your headlight buckets right here, which are separate instead of, I believe, part of the hood. Might be wrong on that. Then of course you got a much curved grill instead of just a flat grill. Then you got plating. And then, interestingly enough, you got the hood latches are chrome on here, which is a bit interesting. So there's pretty much that for the chrome tree. And then going on to some more subtle things. Got more black sprue for the suspension and frame, which by looks of it on both trucks, actually they're exactly the same, so not really any differences I'm seeing. Yeah, so they're both the same on that. And then you got, let's see here, where it starts to get quite different now is when you start to look at the body parts. Now, for this kit, for the Aeromax, parts here are molded in green. So you have your roof, hood, intake box, and then your multi-piece cab with cab visor. And then you go look on the other truck. Now, a couple parts here have already fallen off. So there's the back wall and the visor, which I got the rest of the parts over here. So with the LTL, got the two-piece hood, which pretty much just glues together down the seam. Which there's that, and then you got the basic front cowl and windshield supports. Then you got the roof, which is also the same on either kits. Yeah, so yeah, pretty much the same. Of But where it starts to get quite different is for the door panels. It's all flat as the hood. It's pretty much with the hood. Pretty much just mounts to the side. Of course, I'll have to trim this eventually. So they'll sit together flush. Whereas with the Aeromax, the hood, also being a two-piece, will just mount onto the side with the flared fenders. So using different parts, stuff's not exactly going to line up correctly. So pretty much going to be using different cab pieces. And then for the sleeper itself, got the walkway wall back, then the back wall and the sidings, which are fairly decent sized. Then got a couple support beams, and then what looks like to be this is the hood latch, or the hood hinge for this kit. So that's all looking pretty good. And of course, much different than the basic narrow style sleeper that the Wrecker has, which is pretty much going to be the one that's going to be used on, of course, the tow truck. It looks fairly simple. So there's pretty much that, and then I'll just get some things cleared up so it doesn't get too much in the way, so I'll be back in a minute. So, got both glass pieces here. Now, both the main sheet of glass themselves are both exactly the same, where you have your windshield, headlights, side windows, and bumper lights, and then cab lights as well. But on the Aeromax cab, do have the quarter windows for the sleeper, as well as the specialized hood lights, which are going to need to get painted up separately for the markers and the pod lights here. So pretty much the same sheet of plastic clear. But with the tow truck, we do have an extra set of lights, which comes with the beacons, side marker lights, and a few other odds and ends. So those look nice. Now, between the two kits, the only other difference is really how the one has the tow truck bed, and figured might as well share that. So got some of the chrome tree, which comes with different exhausts, beacon platforms, spotting mirrors, miniature mirror brackets, then hydraulic booms, a few other things like got light pods, horns, spotlights, and some diamond plating grip boards. And then going on to some more molded color trees, we've got the boom itself with a fairly good amount of parts to it. Then you got the legs to grip onto the ground, the PTO winch, all the bunch of goodies here and there. And then you got the bed itself, molded in the gray. Now it's a bit of a smaller truck bed than I think would be your standard one, as I think it'd be much longer for more storage, such, but it's not too bad. Plus, there's some that I've seen where it's a triple axle setup instead of a tandem. So there's that. Got a couple good things here, like got the winch cable with some fairly decent detail. And then one of my favorite parts about it is this kit is that it comes with this specialty heavyweight bumper, which originally on the box I thought was like something someone custom made, but nope, surely enough it comes with the kit, so that's a nice feature to have and definitely going to be used. So, yeah. Then of course here you got brackets for the fog lights. So, it's going to be looking really good when I get around to finally building together. Now, not exactly sure if or well, it's more going to be when I get around to building all these, as I do have a couple other things planned that are much smaller in scale. Well, technically the same scale, but much larger, but much smaller size, of course. So, probably going to get a few things put together here and there. May do a couple updates, and not really going to be doing this as like a part one of a video series. Unless something happens where I get a bunch of stuff done simultaneously. So, pretty much that and that. Then, yeah, that's pretty much that. And of course, almost forgot about the decals on here. Got the for the Aeromax, got the coast to coast decals. If anything, if I do decide to use some of these, definitely gonna be using the silver and white stripes. So those will look pretty cool. And then got the decals for the record here somewhere. Don't see here. Do I have them nearby? There's some. Well, there's some. Okay, yeah, here they are. Here they are. They're got them here. Now, when I originally opened the kit, when I first got it, the paper ended up sliding off, and the decals got themselves stuck on top of the plastic. So some of the plastic had some writing on it. So it's a little bit smudged up, but I'm sure that the decals are still going to be usable. So otherwise, not too concerned. So could probably end up getting some new decals from somewhere else. So there's pretty much that. The entire look of both the Italeri US Wrecker and Ford Aeromax 106. So as mentioned, not sure when I'm going to get everything here put together, as I do eventually want to clear out some space to put stuff at. But for the meantime, this is just a little bit of a quick comparison between the two kits. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.